What if I told you that one simple two-letter word could revolutionize your entire existence? That this word, often seen as negative or harsh, actually holds the key to unprecedented freedom and authenticity? The word is no, and its power extends far beyond simple refusal. It's a declaration of self-respect, a boundary-setting tool, and perhaps most importantly, a pathway to discovering who you truly are beneath the layers of other people's expectations. We live in what researchers call the culture of yes, an always-on society where availability has become synonymous with value, where being busy is worn like a badge of honor, and where the fear of missing out drives us to accept invitations, commitments, and obligations that drain our life force. This isn't just a modern phenomenon, it's a psychological trap that has ensnared humans throughout history, but never more intensely than now. Consider this startling reality. The average person makes approximately 35,000 decisions daily, yet most of us have never been taught how to say no effectively. We operate under the dangerous illusion that saying yes makes us valuable, that availability equals importance, and that declining requests somehow diminishes our worth. This couldn't be further from the truth. The psychology behind our yes addiction runs deep. From childhood, we're conditioned to be agreeable, to please authority figures, to avoid conflict at almost any cost. We learn that good children say yes to their parents, good students say yes to their teachers, and good employees say yes to their bosses. This conditioning creates what psychologists call external locus of control, a state where our decisions are primarily driven by outside pressures rather than internal wisdom. But here's where it gets fascinating from a philosophical perspective. The ancient Stoics understood something we've forgotten, that true freedom isn't the ability to do whatever you want, it's the ability to choose what you don't want to do. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Every time we say yes when we mean no, we surrender a piece of our personal sovereignty. The hidden costs of chronic yes-saying are staggering. Research from Harvard Business School shows that people who struggle to say no are 30% more likely to experience burnout, 40% more likely to report feeling overwhelmed, and significantly more prone to anxiety and depression. But the costs go beyond individual suffering. They extend to our relationships, our work quality, and our ability to contribute meaningfully to the world. When we say yes to everything, we say yes to nothing. This paradox lies at the heart of the freedom question. By accepting every invitation, every request, every opportunity, we dilute our impact across so many areas that we excel in none. We become jack of all trades, master of none, not by choice, but by default. True freedom requires us to redefine what we mean by the word itself. Freedom isn't having infinite options, it's having the wisdom and courage to choose the right options for your unique path. It's not about being available to everyone, it's about being fully present for what matters most. Freedom is the ability to disappoint some people in service of your authentic self. The philosophical implications run even deeper. When we examine the great wisdom traditions, from Buddhism's concept of non-attachment to existentialism's emphasis on authentic choice, we find a common thread: the recognition that saying no to the trivial many enables us to say a profound yes to the vital few. This isn't just time management, it's life curation. Let's explore the neuroscience behind this phenomenon. When we say yes against our better judgment, our brain experiences what researchers call cognitive dissonance, the uncomfortable tension between our actions and our beliefs. This creates a chronic stress response that depletes our mental resources and impairs our decision-making abilities. Conversely, when we align our actions with our values through conscious refusal, we activate the brain's reward centers and strengthen our sense of personal agency. But saying no isn't just about individual well-being, it's about respect for others. When you say yes while harboring resentment, you're not doing anyone a favor. You're showing up half-heartedly, potentially damaging relationships and modeling inauthentic behavior. A genuine no is far more valuable than a reluctant yes. The art of saying no begins with understanding that it's not about the word itself, it's about the mindset behind it. Effective refusal comes from a place of clarity about your values, priorities, and long-term goals. It's not defensive or apologetic. It's confident and kind. It's not about closing doors. It's about choosing which doors deserve your energy to walk through. One of the liberating realizations is that you don't need to justify every no. Society has trained us to believe that declining requires an elaborate explanation, but this simply isn't true. "No, that doesn't work for me" is a complete sentence. "I'm not available" requires no further clarification. The more you explain, the more you invite negotiation, and the weaker your boundary becomes. The fear of missing out, FOMO, plays a crucial role in our yes addiction. But here's what FOMO really represents: a fundamental misunderstanding of opportunity cost. Every yes to one thing is automatically a no to something else. When you say yes to a networking event you don't want to attend, you're saying no to the quiet evening at home that might have recharged your batteries. When you accept a project that doesn't align with your goals, you're declining the opportunity to focus on something that does. From a philosophical standpoint, this connects to the concept of memento mori. Remember that you will die. This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. Your time on this earth is finite, and every moment spent on activities that don't serve your highest good is a moment you can never reclaim. The urgency isn't to do more, it's to do better. The practice of saying no also develops what psychologists call distress tolerance, the ability to sit with discomfort without immediately acting to eliminate it. When someone asks you to do something and your gut says no, but your mind starts generating reasons why you should say yes, that's the moment of truth. Can you tolerate the temporary discomfort of disappointing someone in service of your long-term well-being?
This skill becomes even more crucial when we consider the psychological concept of emotional labor, the invisible work of managing other people's feelings and expectations. Many of us, particularly those socialized as caregivers, have been trained to prioritize others' emotional comfort over our own well-being. Learning to say no is, in essence, learning to redistribute this emotional labor more fairly. But how do we actually develop this skill? It starts with small practices. Begin by noticing your automatic responses to requests. Do you immediately feel pressure to agree? Do you hear yourself saying yes before you've even processed what's being asked? This awareness is the first step toward conscious choice. Next, implement what I call the 24-hour rule. Unless it's truly urgent, give yourself time before responding to any request. This pause allows your initial reaction to settle and your wisdom to emerge. Often, what feels like obligation in the moment reveals itself as choice when given proper consideration. Develop your personal no vocabulary. Some people respond better to direct refusal. "No, I can't do that." Others prefer gentler approaches. "That sounds wonderful, but it's not a good fit for me right now." Find language that feels authentic to you and practice using it. The more comfortable you become with these phrases, the more naturally they'll emerge when needed. Consider the long-term implications of your choices. Ask yourself, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? Will this commitment bring me closer to or further from my goals? Am I saying yes out of fear, obligation, or genuine enthusiasm? These questions help you move from reactive to intentional living. One powerful reframe is to think of your no as a gift. When you decline something you're not genuinely excited about, you're giving the requester the opportunity to find someone who is truly enthusiastic. You're also modeling healthy boundaries, which can inspire others to do the same. The spiritual dimension of saying no shouldn't be overlooked. Many wisdom traditions speak of the importance of discernment, the ability to distinguish between what serves your highest good and what merely serves your ego or fears. Saying no can be an act of spiritual discipline. a way of honoring the deeper calling of your life rather than getting caught up in the surface-level demands of daily existence. There's also profound connection between saying no and developing authentic relationships. When you're honest about your limits, you give others permission to be honest about theirs. This creates space for genuine connection based on mutual respect rather than obligation. The relationships that survive your newly established boundaries are the ones worth keeping. As you develop this practice, you'll likely encounter resistance, both internal and external. Your inner critic might label you as selfish or difficult. Others might express disappointment or even anger when you start setting boundaries. This is normal and temporary. Remember that you're not responsible for managing other people's emotions about your choices. The transformation that occurs when you master the art of saying no is profound. You'll find that your yes carries more weight because it's more intentional. Your energy levels will improve because you're not constantly overextended. Your relationships will deepen because they're based on choice rather than obligation. Your work will improve because you're focusing on your strengths rather than spreading yourself thin. Perhaps most importantly, you'll develop what philosophers call authentic agency, the ability to act in accordance with your deepest values rather than external pressures. This is the foundation of a meaningful life, the cornerstone of genuine happiness, and the pathway to making your unique contribution to the world. The power of no isn't about becoming a hermit or burning bridges. It's about becoming the architect of your own life, rather than a passenger in someone else's plan. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and attention are precious resources that deserve to be invested wisely. Every master of any craft will tell you that excellence requires not just knowing what to include, but knowing what to leave out. The same principle applies to life itself. The moments of greatest clarity, the relationships of deepest meaning, the work of highest impact, these emerge not from saying yes to everything, but from saying no to almost everything, so you can say a powerful yes to what truly matters. Your freedom is waiting on the other side of your next no. The question isn't whether you can afford to start setting boundaries. It's whether you can afford not to. In a world that profits from your yes, saying no is a radical act of self-love and a declaration of your right to live life on your own terms. The journey begins with a single word, spoken with conviction and kindness. No. It's time to reclaim your power, one boundary at a time.